Hey guys, welcome back to Now Reading. I'm Bud Gaines, and I'm continuing the reading of Prelude to Vortex of Souls, Chapter 3, Training the Suns. Might be the last one I get to do for this week, as I have to go back to work tomorrow. So I'm going to try to read some of this, and then try to finish it by the end of the week. I might just do a couple videos a week, if I can, if I have time. So let's get started with this. Chapter 3, Training the Suns. Several months of training and sparring had come and gone since that day. Amane had grown taller, stronger, and was now capable of drawing his blade in one pull, with ease. Fujimoto continued their training routine as before, except Amane was getting up earlier for more practice when he could. He took to the sword like a moth to flame. The interest he had was piqued since that day, and he had become very serious when wielding his sword. Toshiro and Toshin had also continued their training as well, just like Amane. Toshiro had gotten much taller and somewhat stronger. His build was more athletic and lean compared to the muscle Amane had started putting on due to the extra steps. Toshiro's training had been different from his and focused more on stronger strikes while using an enemy's force against themselves. As Amane practiced in the earliest part of the morning, before anyone was awake to his knowledge, he noticed a difference in his sword. It was as if the sword was pulsing internally with his energy. He stared at the blade, and as he did so, it faded. He sighed, then shook his head and thought, that was weird. Amane returned to his training, and an hour later, his mother had come out to greet him with a cool drink. Hey, Amane, I bought you a drink. Sheathing his sword quickly, he rushed over to greet her, and thank her. Good morning, Mom. Thank you for the drink. He took it from her and took a sip of it. While doing so, he glanced down at the blade and removed the glass from his lips. What's wrong? I saw that look, she asked as she kept watching him. Nothing is really wrong, just something weird happened. Are you going to be intentionally vague? She asked, slightly confused while jerking her right eyebrow up. Sorry, it was just weird. The sword was glowing like it had energy within it. I felt it and looked down at it, but then it faded away. He replied with confusion as he explained the situation to her. I'll go get your father while you rest and enjoy your drink. She replied as she walked back into the house. She knew what was going on already, but this was something for Fujimoto to explain to his son. Amane continued to drink his beverage as she went inside, still confused. Jade made her way back into the bedroom to see Fujimoto getting dressed, finally. Pausing to take his appearance into her mind, she leaned against the doorframe and stared at him. You can always go slower, she smirked. He laughed for a quick moment. You could always get naked, he added jokingly. I could, she smiled. Anyway, though. What's up, Jade, he asked. Amane has learned something and needs a lesson in it, she replied. Okay, are you going to be vague? He responded. No, but I did ask him the same question. He felt energy within the sword, but didn't realize it was his own. Fujimoto was surprised and retorted, It's that time already? He shook his head and sighed. I guess it's so much quicker than I expected. He is our son. Both of our families are known for spiritual abilities, and that one is from your side. It's only a matter of time, Fujimoto. He's going to lead our families into the future. Your skills are being put to great use, Jade added sternly and compassionately. You're right. I'll train him better than we were. Better than I was, at least, he replied and slipped his two blades into his waistband and followed his wife outside to their son. Things were about to get interesting, for all of them. I've heard your problem, son, Fujimoto said loudly as he exited their house from the back door. Not a problem, just more of a confusion. What is going on? Amane asked. Simply put, your training and meditating are opening you up to more skills involving your own spiritual energy. You can house the energy within your sword and either use it to strengthen your blade or use it as a distance attack at your current stage. Progressing the ability will allow further development into other skills. Also, once you learn to strengthen your sword efficiently, you can learn to strengthen yourself. The same skills can be applied to your body and help you to reach further heights. Increases your skills, strength, speed, and stamina. We'll have to increase your physical training so you can train your spiritual energy. From now on, you're going to wear heavy armor. If that's what I have to do, I'll do it, Amane responded to his father. Well, that was simple, Fujimoto added. It's training, he retorted quickly but respectfully. I knew what I was getting into. Holding back isn't something you can do, especially if I'm going to learn, Amane replied. You've learned so much already, Jade stated while nodding her head and smiling. Her arms crossed over each other as she looked at her son who was growing up before her eyes. As they talked, a flurry of knocks banged on the door. A panicked and rushed voice yelled out, Fujimoto! Fujimoto! The three of them rushed to the door to see what was actually going on. They needed to know why a man was panicking and banging on the door so early in the morning. Something was going on. When they reached the door, the man was lying face down before them in a pool of blood, with arrows sticking out of his back, and his body was covered in stab wounds. "Are you okay? We'll get you some help," Fujimoto asked as he rushed to kneel down to the man. His voice calm, but his spirit is angry. "It's too late for me, Fuji. They're coming for you. A secret meeting was held without you or the clan heads. They decided they wanted you for Junichiro's murder. Without you there, they knew they could target you without you defending yourself," the man said quickly, explaining as much as he could. "This is wrong. Are they trying to start a war?" Fujimoto replied as he grew angrier, his calm demeanor fighting to stay visible when all he wanted to do was finish this once and for all. "Yes, there was someone at the assembly I didn't recognize at all. A man in a black hooded cloak with a strange feeling about him." The man coughed up blood, adding to the pool beneath him. "Get out," his last words before he collapsed on the ground. "I will not leave my home," Jade added sternly. "This is a special place for more reason than it's our house. This place has trained many warriors for many years. It cannot and will not fall to ruin while I live." "We don't have much choice, Jade," he replied. "Then we take them away from here," Amane stated calmly. "What?" Fujimoto asked as if he was confused by the simple response Amane had given them. "Everyone lives here, right? So we take them further away, towards the mountains and into the open field. Get them out of Yamazengo. It's a simple idea, but it's hard to execute exactly. Either we bait them, or we flat out call a meeting about it," Amane responded. "Someone has definitely been paying attention." Jade spoke softly with her left hand on her chin and a smile on her face. "The learning and training is coming along very nicely, I see." "Why are you so calm?" Fujimoto asked Amane directly, since he himself was burning with anger inside. He wanted to know why his son was so calm. "This man, right here," he pointed down to him, "was happy as he passed on. He died knowing he completed his final task, getting you that information. He succeeded. Unfortunately, he's going right into that vortex," Amane added. Jade smiled at Amane. "Learning more than what is taught, I see, too." "Trying my best," he replied with a smirk. "Amane, I need you to go see Toshin and tell him what's going on. I'm going to see Sage. We'll figure out what to do and put that armor on." He pointed to the mannequin wearing it. "Yes, sir," Amane replied. "And be safe." "I'm going now." He paused. "Amane, there's a cave on the outskirts. Tell Toshin to meet us there." "Can do," he nodded. Fujimoto kissed his wife. "See you soon," he said as he quickly left the doorway and headed to the right as fast as he could. Amane removed the armor off the mannequin one piece at a time. Staring at the bottom, the first part he put on were the boots. They were octagon pattern pieces that interlocked together. Knee guards were next. He removed his upper gi, revealing his black training unitard, which he wore under his clothes, created with stronger than normal materials. Pants, chest, and arms were next. All of the pieces were octagonal shape that interlocked, and altogether they made a flexible, heavy armor. Dad was right. This is heavier than my other one. "But," he said as he moved normally, "I can walk normally." "Yes, son, but you're going to have to run and possibly fight in it. This is for your protection, not training. The stronger your spiritual energy gets, the easier it'll be to move for you. You can move normally because of your current level, but once it adjusts to you, it'll be much harder." "Adjust?" Amane asked. "It can feel your energy. This armor will adjust accordingly to make your training more helpful. The stronger you get, the stronger it gets, and the more useful it becomes," Jade responded. "That's pretty cool," Amane said. She laughed. "It sure is, and it looks good on you too. Take good care of it." "I will," he nodded. "I better get going. Toshin is waiting." "Amane," she put her hand on his chest to stop him before he began moving. "Remember, if you can't move well, focus on the peak of your spiritual energy and you'll be able to move," Jade added. "I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, Mom. See you soon." He ran out the door quickly and toward Toshin's home. Just like his father. She shook her head with a smile. Around the same time Amane had started his training, Toshiro and Toshin headed down the stairs to start their own. Toshin began his lessons with Toshiro in the basic exercises to build up strength, to be able to wield a sword when he was older to protect himself. They spent several days doing the basic exercises, and during that time, Toshin had given him a wooden sword to help him learn basic sword strikes. The continued training had them sparring against each other with their wooden swords. Toshin felt it was too early for Toshiro to use a real metal and sharpened blade. Toshiro stood across from his father with sweat coming down his face. His hand trembled with excitement and exhaustion as he sparred with his father. As he breathed hard, he spoke quickly. "Going easy on me?" "Of course. I don't want to hurt you too badly," Toshin responded with a calm voice. "Can we make this our last spar for today?" "I'm getting very worn down, father," Toshiro said, breathing slightly less heavy after catching his breath to a degree. "We'll call it a day after this time." He sighed slightly aggravated. "In the future, you'll have to learn to fight through your exhaustion." "Yes, sir," Toshiro responded with a full understanding and confidence in his future progress. Toshiro held his sword up with both hands and prepared himself as he prepared to continue their training. Toshin came at him slowly and swung down from above. Toshiro blocked the strike by holding up his sword above his head. He held it with both hands, holding the hilt and the wooden blade at the back. Good block, Toshin stated proudly. Toshiro pushed back and forced the sword to the right out of his way as he tried. Toshin pushed back and forced the sword back into its previous position while adding more force. Toshiro dropped his guard and dodged rolled back out of the way. He rolled back onto his feet and ran forward with the sword out to his side. He attacked his father at full speed. Toshin shook his head and dodged Toshiro's lunge and smacked him back. How'd that go for you, Toshiro? Toshiro stopped and turned around, swinging his sword quickly. He was blocked by Toshin, who knocked it out of his hands. Not too well. Don't use all your stamina for one attack. You'll just end up leaving yourself wide open. Charging past your opponent doesn't help either. It can be used effectively, but not the way you performed it. You'll learn as we go, Toshin advised him. I remember that to the best of my ability. I just need more time, Toshiro added quietly while catching his breath. We'll pick it up tomorrow, Toshin replied. Yes, sir, Toshiro responded back. He tossed his sword to his father and grabbed a towel. He wiped his forehead off and dried himself off. Toshin caught the sword and walked it over to the stand it was on. When you're ready for real swords, I have the perfect one I want to give you. Really? Toshiro said excitedly. Yes, it's the blue and white one in my bedroom stand. May not look like much in the case, but the sword belonged to your ancestor, Aurora. Her blade once slayed demons according to legends, Toshin explained. Slayed demons? Toshiro said confused. Yes, many years ago there was a war against the underworld. Aurora was a strong warrior and a strong cryomancer, Toshin continued to explain. Toshiro nodded. I'll take care of her sword when it's mine to use. I know you will, son. Go get cleaned up. Toshin smiled at Toshiro. While he was strict on his training, he was finally starting to understand how to act like a normal father again. It was a big step for him in his relationship.